You swipe past someone who texts you good morning every day, someone who remembers what you ordered last time, someone who asks how your meeting went and actually waits for the answer, someone who is, by every reasonable measure, kind and consistent and available. And you feel nothing. Then someone else shows up. They take 3 days to reply. They run hot, then cold, then disappear for a week with no explanation, then reappear like nothing happened. And your whole body lights up like a switch was flipped. Maybe you've called this no spark with the kind one. Maybe you've called the other one intense, or magnetic, or different from anyone you've met. You've probably told a friend, half joking, that you just don't do well with people who are too nice. You've probably also told yourself, more than once, that this time will be different, that this person is simply misunderstood, or going through something, or just needs more time to open up. None of that is really about taste, and none of it is really about this particular person, however much it feels like it is. This isn't bad luck. It isn't a string of wrong choices, a string of red flags you somehow keep missing, or a sign that something is broken in you. It's a pattern, a wiring. And once you understand where it comes from, you start noticing it everywhere in your own life, in places you never thought to look. Why does steadiness feel boring and distance feel like chemistry? The answer starts long before you ever fell for anyone. It starts in the first few years of your life, in a relationship you don't even remember having an opinion about, the one with whoever raised you. In the 1950s and 60s, a British psychiatrist named John Bowlby proposed something that sounded almost too simple to matter. He said that the bond between an infant and a caregiver isn't just about food and shelter. It's a survival system. A baby who can reliably get comfort from a caregiver learns, on a level beneath language, that connection is safe. A baby who can't learns something else. They learn that love is unpredictable, that you have to earn it, chase it, or brace for its disappearance. Bowlby called this an attachment system. And the wiring it creates doesn't stay in childhood. It becomes the lens you fall in love through. Picture two different children. One grows up with a parent who shows up consistently. Comfort is there when it's needed, without having to be earned. That child's nervous system settles into a quiet, almost boring certainty. People stay, and love doesn't require performance. Now picture a second child, raised by a parent who is warm sometimes and distracted, withdrawn, or unpredictable other times. That child doesn't get to relax into certainty. Instead, they become an expert at reading moods, anticipating withdrawal, and working to bring the warmth back when it disappears. Neither child consciously chooses this, but both of them grow into adults who unconsciously recognize one of these two emotional climates as normal. And normal, to a nervous system, doesn't mean healthy. It just means familiar. Then, in 1987, two psychologists named Cindy Hazan and Philip Shaver asked a different question. What if adult romantic love runs on the exact same wiring as infant attachment? They published a study testing this idea, and the results were striking. Adults who described themselves as comfortable depending on others tended to have calmer, steadier relationships. But adults who described chronic worry about being abandoned or discomfort with closeness altogether showed up in relationships marked by exactly that: anxiety, distance, or both. Hazan and Shaver had essentially shown that the way you were loved as a child quietly writes the script for who you fall for as an adult. So if your early experience of love involved unpredictability, your nervous system didn't learn that unpredictability is bad. It learned that unpredictability is what love feels like. That's the part most people miss. You're not avoiding the emotionally unavailable person despite the chase. You're drawn to them because of it. Think about what actually happens in your body when someone is inconsistent with you. One day warm, one day distant. The warmth feels incredible because you don't know when it's coming back. So you start watching for it, waiting for it, checking your phone for it. This isn't really about that person. It's about a mechanism your brain already knows extremely well. In the mid-20th century, the psychologist B.F. Skinner ran a series of experiments on what makes a reward feel compelling. He found that a reward given every single time barely held attention, but a reward given unpredictably on a variable schedule created the strongest, most persistent craving of all. That's the same mechanism behind slot machines, and it's the same mechanism your brain runs when a person you like texts back sometimes, shows affection sometimes, and disappears the rest of the time. Predictable love doesn't trigger that craving response. It doesn't need to. Your nervous system already trusts it. Unpredictable love does. Every text back feels like a win. Every silence makes the next win feel even bigger. Your brain isn't responding to how much this person actually loves you. It's responding to how unsure you are of whether they will. So now you have two pieces. Early attachment patterns set your baseline for what love is supposed to feel like. And inconsistency hijacks the brain's reward system in a way steadiness simply can't compete with. But there's a third piece, and it might be the strangest one. Why does the unavailable person often feel so specifically familiar, not just exciting? Familiar. In the 1980s, a therapist named Harville Hendrix proposed a theory that has stuck around for a reason. He suggested that the people we're drawn to romantically tend to share traits, both good and difficult, with the caregivers who raised us. He called this an internal template, an unconscious blueprint built from childhood that quietly decides who feels like a match. Hendrix's idea wasn't that you consciously seek out pain. It's that your nervous system associates a certain emotional textures with love itself, because that's what love looked like the first time you experienced it. If you grew up with a caregiver who was warm sometimes and withdrawn other times, someone who is warm sometimes and withdrawn other times won't register as a red flag. It will register as home. That's the part that makes this so hard to untangle on your own. The emotionally unavailable person doesn't feel like a stranger taking a risk on. They feel like someone your body already recognizes. You're not choosing chaos because you enjoy chaos. You're choosing the version of love your earliest relationships taught you to expect. Here's the part that usually stings the most. You can know all of this, fully understand the psychology, and still feel the exact same pull the next time it happens. That's because none of this is happening in the rational part of your brain. Knowing a pattern intellectually and interrupting it emotionally are two completely different skills. You can recognize the moment someone goes quiet on you, that your stomach drops. You can recognize that the drop feels eerily similar to something from years ago. And you can still pick up the phone and check if they texted back. This is not a character flaw. It's a wiring issue. And wiring, unlike personality, can be changed. The first shift isn't forcing yourself to feel attracted to consistency overnight. The shift is learning to notice the moment it happens. The dropped stomach, the sudden urge to check your phone, the way disinterest from someone suddenly makes them more interesting. That noticing, done enough times, slowly gives your rational brain a foothold it didn't have before. The second shift is more uncomfortable. It's sitting with the boredom that consistency can bring at first, instead of mistaking that boredom for a lack of chemistry. Calm doesn't always feel like fireworks in the beginning, especially if your nervous system was trained on unpredictability. Sometimes calm just feels unfamiliar. That unfamiliarity fades, but only if you stay long enough to let it. There's a specific test worth trying the next time you feel that instant, electric pull towards someone. Ask yourself one quiet question before you decide it's chemistry. Would I still feel this pull if this person were completely consistent with me? Starting today? If the honest answer is no, what you're feeling probably isn't about them at all. It's the old alarm again, dressed up as attraction. And the third shift is recognizing that the people who raised you, with all their inconsistency or distance, weren't necessarily trying to hurt you. They were very likely running their own inherited template, passed down from whoever raised them. This isn't about blame. It's about awareness. You can't rewrite a pattern you've never actually looked at directly. None of this means you're destined to repeat this forever. Attachment researchers have found something hopeful buried in their data. In 1994, Jane Pearson, Deborah Cohn, Philip Cowan and Carolyn Pape Cowan studied adults who had grown up with difficult, inconsistent early relationships, but who had nonetheless developed secure, stable attachment patterns as adults. They called this earned security. It meant the wiring isn't fixed, it's just old. So the next time steadiness feels boring and distance feels like chemistry, pause before you decide which one means more. Because that drop in your stomach, the one that feels like proof you found something real, might not be love at all. It might just be a very old alarm, going off the way it always has, mistaking a familiar ache for the only kind of love it was ever taught to recognize.